it does.
Don't you just love the smell of old books?
Shh, this is a library.
Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction.
He really does devour literature.
Please leave.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
WDEV believes in airing a wide variety of opinions and perspectives. The views expressed in the following feature do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of WDEV. We welcome listener feedback. Email your comments to WDEV@radiovermont.com.
And now, here's Eye on the News with commentator John McClory.
Vermont's 4 education lobby groups say that the state must give all students an equitable, quality education in order to keep democracy thriving. They believe that only government schools can deliver equitable, quality education. If parental choice is, regrettably, forced by the courts, non-public schools must be saddled with public school regulations controlling curriculum, staff qualifications, open meetings and public records requirements, fiscal accountability, and student assessment. One wonders how many Vermont parents believe that their public schools offer their children a quality product, especially when their unionized teachers are, by last year's resolution of their national union, committed to teaching that a person is defined above all else by race, gender, and sexual orientation, and that American institutions are designed to ensure white supremacy and the patriarchy. What should be obvious to any parent is that when parents with effective choice find a chosen school to inadequately provide what they, the parents, not the lobby groups, think is a quality education, they can choose to send their children to another school, public, independent, or religious, that does a better job. Senate Education Chair Brian Campion, Democrat of Bennington, is all on board with this government experts know best, parents know little or nothing maxim. He was quoted in True North reports as saying, "We, the government, need to put some guardrails on the practices of religious schools to protect the students and the staff." More on this tomorrow. This is John McClory. Thanks for listening.
This is the Brady Farkas Show. If you thought, like I did, that the Russell Wilson deal was too much to make yourself, then fine. I get that. But don't tell me you don't need Russell Wilson because you have Mac Jones. Don't tell me that you enjoy your Toyota Camry. You have a Camry and everyone else around you has a Lamborghini.
Weeknights at 5:30 on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
WDEV also serves the Northeast Kingdom at 101.9 W270BR Island Pond.
There's a reason they've been dubbed man's best friend. The unconditional love of a dog can work wonders in the life of a human. In fact, it has been proven that canine companionship greatly improves the mental and physical well-being of children and adults of all ages. Therapy Dogs of Vermont is an all-volunteer, non-profit organization of well-mannered, sweet-tempered, people-loving dogs and their handlers. Our teams visit children in hospitals, the elderly in nursing or retirement homes, and others in need who might gain from the positive benefits of unconditional love. Whatever the need, Therapy Dogs of Vermont are ready and wagging. Therapy Dogs of Vermont provides canine companionship services in Vermont, New Hampshire, and Canada. All dogs are owned by their handlers, certified and insured, and are tested to ensure outstanding temperaments, stable personalities, and most importantly, a great love for humans. The unconditional love of a dog can provide a great source of joy and comfort for anyone in need. For more information, visit therapydogs.org. That's therapydogs.org.
The Brady Farkas Show is produced and funded by WDEV and the Radio Vermont Group. We welcome listener feedback. Email your comments to WDEV@radiovermont.com.
The teams you care about.
When you think about the Patriots' needs this offseason, look for one trait: explosiveness.
The stories that matter to you.
I'm not convinced that Ben Shungu, that he's not the league player of the year.
This is your home for New England sports.
Bobby Dahlbeck playing third base this year? Now that is interesting.
This is the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
What's up, everybody? Welcome in. Brady Farkas Show on a Thursday here on WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com. This is the day that I've been waiting for. This was a tough week, and the universe decided to send me and all of us some good vibes. My football team lost its quarterback, and everybody was laughing at me because Russell Wilson got traded. And 2 days later, we've got a baseball season. And not only do we have a baseball season, we have a baseball season in full, 162 games, opening day, April 7th, Red Sox, Yankees, WDEV. Wow. Today was a wild ride. Yesterday was a wild ride. And to honor that wild ride, we're going to do something we've never done. 18 months this show is coming up on. We've never once started the show right off the bat with a guest. But it is deadline day. It is deal day. And we go to Buster Olney. Buster usually with us at 5:45 on Thursdays, but he's with us right off the top here. Buster, I was so dejected yesterday I wanted to cry. Today I was so happy I wanted to cry. We did it.
Yeah, and I think, from 30,000 feet, the fact that you're going to have a baseball season, 162 games, we have a labor deal, in theory, labor peace for the next 5 years is what baseball needed. Now, there's a lot behind the scenes with how the vote went down and, the rules that are coming and all kinds of stuff that we can talk about. But I think that the biggest thing is for the next 3 weeks, it is going to be absolutely nuts when it comes to player transactions because you have almost 300 players available in free agency and trade, and it's going to be like every day we're going to see 10 to 15 players land with teams.
I am so pumped for what is coming. It looks like, let's get the logistics. So 6 o'clock tonight, that's when the owners are going to ratify the deal. That's expected to happen. And then business can open right then, can it? Like we could see signings happening at 6:05?
No, the general, not quite, but you're close, pretty close. But 6:30, there's going to be a call among general managers.
Okay.
They'll get their marching orders, and then the starting gun will go off, so to speak. And as I've talked to you about this before, all these teams, because they haven't been able to do any business, they're like NFL coaches with the first 10 plays scripted. And so as baseball gets restarted, you're going to see general managers having made a plan to call out a shortstop, a relief pitcher, starting pitcher, and then they're going to move on. And, of course, the first 10 play plans are going to blow up quickly as all of these guys sign. As we find out where's Freddie Freeman going to land, where are the two elite shortstop, Carlos Correa, Trevor Story, going to go? Are the Brewers going to trade Josh Hader? What about all those guys that the Oakland Athletics have made available in trade? There is a ton to come here.
With as much fun as all of that is going to be, and with as quick as all of it's going to happen, and as fast and furious as it's going to come, and the fact that we're going to get 162 games that's starting only a week later, there was all this anger over the last couple of weeks. Is anybody going to care once April 7th comes?
I don't think that. Well, I think there will be some fans, and I think you'll see some reduction in attendance in April and May in particular, because the bottom line is with the owners having locked out the players, they haven't had an opportunity to sell tickets the way they usually do. So there are going to be some empty seats. I do think the fact that baseball was actually able to get a deal and that there's going to be a full season. By midsummer, it's not going to be something that we're going to be talking about anymore, and all the players will be moving on.
Buster Olney, ESPN MLB Insider, with us here on the Brady Farkas Show. A little earlier than usual, but we do have a baseball deal, and we're talking with him on this Thursday. All right, let me ask some logistical questions about the negotiations before we talk a little bit about the game. A lot of Twitter cynics were under the impression the owners didn't want to play 162 games. The owners wanted the first month of the season gone, and they were going to stall and do everything they could to sabotage us until May 1st. Did you ever buy that, and this was a change of heart, or did they always want the full 162?
Well, I did think, and we've talked about this in the past, I did wonder if the negotiations, if there hadn't been any progress, if you might have seen the owners turn to, you know what, we can't deal with this leadership group on the other side, and we're going to blow it all up. We'll get into a bunker and we'll use our pile of cash to work against them. But that wasn't the case. And I really hope that all the writers who wrote that come back and acknowledge that they were totally wrong about that.
Yep.
Because it's fairly apparent by the concessions that were made, along the way, some of the concessions by the owners, that they did want to have a season. Now, I will tell you this. the big issue going into these negotiations was about non-competitive behavior and specifically about tanking. Well, when you look at the details of the deal that came out, there really wasn't anything that addressed tanking. There's a draft lottery, but as you and I know, draft lottery for the first 6 picks in the draft. But as you and I know, in baseball, whether you pick second or fifth is not that big of a deal, not nearly as big of a deal as it is in the NFL or the NBA. And so nothing is going to compel a team like the Orioles to spend money, for the Pittsburgh Pirates to spend money. And a lot of agents have been noting that and saying that as we go ahead, as baseball restarts, it'll be the middle class among the players who are going to get absolutely hammered for that reason. So the owners made concessions, but not on that huge issue about addressing tanking.
Let's talk about the players. We heard the players were unified. The players were resolute in what they wanted. And it was very interesting the way that this all came down today. So there's 38 essentially bodies on the players' side that need to vote for this. And there's an 8-person executive council, and then there's the 30 teams, the 30 team reps representing their teams. That 8-person executive council of the very high-ranking players, they all voted against this deal today. It was the teams that pushed it across, and the team reps voting 26-4, and that's where we got this 26-12 margin. Very, very interesting, Buster, that the team reps and the teams went against their own elected leadership group.
It is seen by players that I've spoken with this afternoon and by agents as a complete repudiation of the leadership at the 24th hour. That the feeling among the middle class, among the players was, what are we doing? We need to go back to work. It was very interesting because, of course, among those executive committee members, 5 of the 8 are represented by super agent Scott Boras. And so there's been a perception that Scott has had a big hand in this negotiation. But when this deal was thrown open to all the players in this vote that was handled through player reps, it was a complete wipeout the other way. And it was seen as essentially a revolt. And I got to tell you, and I've been telling you, this whole offseason after Max Scherzer, who's the de facto head of the union, was quoted in the LA Times in January saying the players have never been more together. That was never the sense that I had. That there was a lot of legitimate disagreement. That doesn't mean they think Mac's a bad guy, but there was a lot of legitimate concern among rank and file players that this was the right direction. And so with an opportunity to have a deal in hand, the rank and file players saw the details and decided, no, that whatever we're fighting for at this point is not worth shutting down the sport going forward and losing games, perhaps losing paychecks. Is one player conveyed to one of the union leaders in the last few weeks, we got to stop going for home runs. If we can get a clean single or double, we can get back to work. That's the direction we should go.
So tanking didn't really get addressed. The money did seem to go the way the players wanted. The CBT got raised significantly. The minimum wage got raised significantly. Overall, was this a good deal or a better deal than you were expecting the players to get?
Well, it was a better deal than what they had the last time, but I will push back on you a little bit when you say the players were in favor. The reason why the middle class wasn't in favor was because it seems like a lot of the rules that have been fostered by the executive committee, by the leadership, benefited the top 2%. Like the best of the young players, are the guys who are going to benefit from this $45 million or $60 million player pool of extra money for the first and second year players, and the system that allows the Garrett Coles of the world to get $40 million a year. That's still in place, but there were no mechanisms that were put in place that would prop up the journeyman veteran free agents. Those guys who've lost so much ground financially over the last 5 years, there's nothing to help them. I do think. It's funny because you and I remember the night of the 2016 labor agreement. Right away, there were people predicting this labor war, saying this is a bad deal. Today, I can tell you for sure, there's storm clouds gathering on the horizon. I think you're going to see a have versus have-not fight within the union, where the middle-class players, as they did in this vote today, are going to stand up and say, No. We need to do something to help more players than just the upper echelon among the players.
Buster Olney, ESPN MLB Insider, with us here on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. As a result of this deal today, there are several new things that you as a fan will have to get used to again. One, the DH is now permanently in the National League, so no more pitchers hitting. We've also got the return of regular extra innings. No man on second, none of that craziness. We can play 18-inning marathons if we want to until 2 o'clock in the morning, for Red Sox games. And we've also got the return of 9-inning doubleheaders. Do you like everything kind of going back to pre-pandemic levels?
Yeah, personally, I don't mind it, but I will tell you, it would not at all surprise me if in the next few weeks we hear that, the two sides are talking privately saying, maybe those 7 innings doubleheaders aren't so bad.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of players and a lot of teams that prefer the 7-inning doubleheaders. And because, we had the lockout and the start of the season is going to be delayed and there are going to have to be some doubleheaders in place. Wouldn't surprise me if you see that, and it wouldn't surprise me if you see some sort of a mechanism put in place to limit the number of extra innings. I don't think there's a lot of people in the game who play the game, who are in front offices or in coaching staffs, who are saying, yeah, let's go back to the system where we potentially could have 18-inning games. I do wonder, because they've been so caught up with the more important issues in the CBA negotiations. They haven't really got into the finer details. I do wonder if that's one that's going to be revisited.
Buster, I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but I've got 2 things here that I'm worried about out of all of this. One, we're going to get more playoff teams. Was 12 the number we decided on?
Yes.
Okay.
12 is the number that they have, that was agreed upon. Again, it's possible they could revisit that, but my sense is it's going to be locked in at 12. Okay, so 12 playoff teams. I would have rather stayed at 10, but 12 is better than 14. That's just my perspective. Here's what I wonder. Are we going to get any kind of NBA-style load management where now guys are playing 125 games just because it's so much easier to make the playoffs? They don't have to push to play 145. I think we've kind of moved in that direction to some degree anyway. You don't see a lot of players, playing 155 games or more. I would imagine that because they have to squeeze in these extra games into a smaller calendar, that you probably will see some guys, take days off. I actually don't think the push from 10 to 12 is a bad thing. I think it's actually good. I think it's going to keep. It's especially important, I think, for the small and mid markets. The Clevelands, the Kansas Cities, that have struggled, in terms of having a regular source of hope versus teams like the Red Sox and the Yankees, who every year are in the conversation because they have payrolls 3 times the size of those other clubs. The thing that really worries me, my biggest concern, is injuries. We're going to get this thing going so quickly. Guys are going to be reporting tomorrow to spring training. We're going to have games here in a week. I have no idea what guys have been doing behind the scenes. I'm sure they've been trying, but what they can do in their basement isn't the same as what they can do under the supervision of major league teams and major league strength and conditioning coaches. So I worry about how many pulled hamstrings are we going to see and how many dead arms and tired shoulders are we going to have here. The good thing is that players are in better shape year-round than they've ever been in terms of how they take care of themselves. The bad part is that you can't regulate competitive juices. Yeah. So all these guys, have been working out. They're in great shape. But when you get into a major league game and the adrenaline kicks in, there are going to be a lot of players who are not necessarily going to be prepared for that. They're not going to have as steady and slow run-up to the start of the regular season as they had in the past. What I remember about 1995, when you had, after the players' strike, a shortened spring training, is that there were a lot of pitcher injuries and a lot of shoulder injuries. That's what I'm going to be watching for. Buster Olney, ESPN MLB Insider. Buster, I will get you out on this so the transactions can start at like 6:30, 6:45, 7 o'clock tonight, in theory, as we talked about. By the time the dust settles here, are the Red Sox going to make any huge moves like JD Martinez? Do we think he gets traded? Like, now that I can focus on the roster, I don't even know where to look. Yeah, I would say my big question going into this period is whether or not the Red Sox act on a lot of the conversation they had about adding an elite infielder of some kind. Do they move on Carlos Correa? Do they move on a Trevor Story? Do they move on a Matt Chapman? Go make a move in that way? Because they certainly have poked around and they've done a lot of preparation. And as you and I have talked about in the past, if you're going to move Xander Bogaerts off shortstop, or if you're going to bring in another infielder that's going to at some point set off a series of dominoes at other positions, you better bring in a big name. That to me is my big question, because they have certainly had a lot of conversations about it.
Buster Olney, ESPN MLB Insider. Buster, get some sleep. I'm sure you've been up late most nights here like we all have following this. At least your Twitter account didn't get hacked today like Jeff Passan. That was some fun comedy relief here over the course of my stressful day worrying about this thing. But you did a great job covering it, and we're excited to have you every Thursday talking about real baseball again here over the next over the next several months. So we'll talk to you again next week.
Woohoo! All right, sir. Thanks, Brady.
Absolutely. There goes Buster Olney, our ESPN MLB Insider. So much to react to. But bottom line is, exhale. Exhale, exhale, exhale. We've got baseball. And now, for all baseball did to hurt itself over the last 99 days, baseball can really own the sports world for a period of time here, and I'm so excited about that. We'll react to what Buster had to say. That's next on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV.
Northfield Savings Bank is proud to sponsor WDEV at 90. Whether you're a builder, a maker, or a doer, at Northfield Savings Bank, we are proud to be the bank for Vermonters and Vermont businesses. Find out more about us at nsbvt.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Help our bird friends this winter with a trip to Guy's Farm and Yard store nearest you. Black oil sunflower seed is a favorite, plus plenty of others that'll attract your favorite birds. Guy's carries bird feeders of all types, too. For your pets, come see all the pet toys and pet accessories available for your best furry friends. Pet beds, too. Stock up on super efficient, clean, burning wood pellets. Family-owned Guy's Farm and Yard stores in Portland Street, Morrisville, Berry Street, Montpelier, Taft Corners, Williston, and Fairfax Road in St. Albans. They have what you need.
Push it, pull it, or tow it sale is back at Lamoille Valley Chevy. We would like to thank all our customers and our entire team for helping Lamoille Valley Chevy become the #1 volume Chevy truck dealer in Vermont for the second year in a row. Due to the success of the Countdown to 4,000, our lot is now overstocked with more one-owner, low-mileage, late-model cars, trucks, and SUVs than I can remember, and I've instructed my entire team we need to sell them down. Here's how the push it, pull it, or tow it sale works. Through the end of March, anyone can push, pull, or tow any single trade to Lamoille Valley Chevy and get a $3,000 minimum trade allowance towards any in-stock pre-owned car, truck, or SUV on our lot. Don't worry. If your trade is worth more, you're going to get it. And folks, at Lamoille Valley Chevy, we have a huge selection of certified pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs that come with a better-than-new 100,000-mile warranty, and you can get a guaranteed minimum trade allowance of $3,000 on these vehicles, too. So get to the push it, pull it, or tow it sale happening right now at Lamoille Valley Chevy. And remember, at Lamoille Valley Chevy, we know price matters.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Vermont Army National Guard. Aired by the Vermont Association of Broadcasters and this station.
You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 business days before any digging project. So before you do this or this, make sure you do this. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Price drop on fun and fitness deals on the WDEV Trading Post online marketplace. Get in shape with a 1-year membership to the Swimming Hole and Stowe. Normally $850, now just $350. That's less than $1 a day. A Twin City Family Fun Center $50 gift card is half priced at $25. And a 1-year individual membership to Modio Rec and Randolph is just $150. Check out all the deals on our website at WDEVradio.com.
Think you know sports better than Brady does? Text in with your thoughts at 802-585-3026.
This is Freddie Coleman of ESPN, and you're listening to Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV and WDEVradio.com.
Welcome back in, Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Again, thanks to Buster Olney for joining us. I mean, true story. Today was just insane. Buster and I, so Buster always comes on at 5:45, right? Full disclosure, Buster and I were going to tape today's interview in advance. Like it was going to line up easier that way for everybody to tape it in advance. So Buster and I were going to talk at 10 a.m. this morning. And I reached out to him like, Buster, I don't know what's going to happen with these talks today. Like, I feel like if I talk to you at 10 a.m., what we say will be completely obsolete by 5:45. So then Buster's like, you know what? You're right. Let's talk at 2:30. Let's tape in advance at 2:30. So I called Buster at 2:30. And I'm like, Buster, the players got to vote on this thing by 3. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm like, how exactly should we do this? He goes, you know what? Call me right at 5:30 and we'll do it live today. So usually we do it at 5:45. Today that didn't work, but 5:30 Buster made work and even let us go a little bit longer than I thought that we were going to be able to go with him. So shout out to Buster, a true pro, and we got on the live reaction that we wanted, and the deal is done. And now we can go back to talking about baseball, and we can go back to talking about things that you and I care about. I did not get into this business to talk about labor negotiations. I really, believe it or not, I did not get into this business to talk about labor conversations, labor disagreement. I didn't get in to talk about labor lawyers. I didn't get in to talk about any of it. I want to talk about players, trades, free agents, coaches, managers, front office people, moves to be made, proper organizational philosophy, and on-game or on-field performance. That's why I got in this business, and we finally got it back. I do have reservations. I mentioned, look, as happy as I am, there are going to be injuries. There are going to be injuries. Players are going to start reporting to spring training tomorrow. We're going to start playing games in 7 days, I think, March 17th. We've got opening day on April 7th. I will be fascinated to see how teams bring their players along here. Because I got to imagine that tomorrow when guys start getting there, they're going to throw some light bullpens. And even if a player thinks he's ready, that a team's going to say, no. But how many teams really back off and baby their players for the early part of the season, right? You're our starter. You're only going to go 4 innings in your first start because we got to build you up properly. And then how many teams say, you know what? We think you're good. You're going 7 strong. Organizationally, it'll be fascinating to see how teams respond to all of this. Are we going to see Xander Bogaerts play? Are we going to see Xander Bogaerts play right away in spring training and get 4 at-bats and hustle everything down the line? Or are the Red Sox going to say, you know what? You get 1 at-bat, and I don't even care if you run. We just want to see you be okay. I don't know. But Buster's right that so here's the logistics. Again, 6:30, or the owners are going to ratify the agreement at 6 o'clock. Then at 6:30, the general managers are going to talk and kind of get the logistics of everything. And then at that point, we can go. I would not be shocked if by the time we come in tomorrow, there are multiple deals that have already been reported. Now, I don't know if they're going to be huge deals, right? Saya Suzuki, the Japanese import, the guy I want the Red Sox to get. Chris Bryant, Trevor Story, Carlos Correa. I don't know if it's going to be those guys, but I think there will be deals by the time we come in tomorrow. 24 hours from now, I think transactions will be happening. And I'm so excited because baseball is finally going to get a piece of the pie. I mentioned this to you the other day. I know where my bread is buttered in this business. My bread is buttered in football. Everybody in this business knows this. You cannot do sports talk radio if you do not know or if you do not like football. You just can't. You cannot be in the business. So I know and accept that football is a 24-hour-a-day thing and it's a 12-month-of-the-year thing. But I'm so excited that baseball is about to get a little piece of the pie. With all the maneuvering that's going to happen, with all the deals, with all the moves, with all the excitement, baseball is finally going to get a chance to at least be part of the conversation in more than just a fleeting moment. NFL free agency kicks off on March 21st. It kicks off in 11 days. That's going to be huge. The NCAA tournament is going to be huge, but baseball is going to be part of the conversation. And finally, for the first time since the World Series ended, baseball is going to be part of the conversation in a positive way. Everybody is so down on baseball, or has been so down on baseball. We're finally going to get baseball being talked about in a positive way and in a positive light. Frank is excited about it. He gets in on the Napa-Morrisville, Napa-Waterbury text line. We got Dane over in Rochester. He's in, who says, I needed baseball this summer. It's been a long winter. Collective sigh of relief. We get an unnamed texter who says outstanding by both of you, meaning me and Buster. So I appreciate that. This is a great day that we've got baseball back. We can tomorrow kind of pour over the details. My gut tells me that by and large, the players got a lot of what they wanted. Now, to Buster's point, the players kind of got more for really young and really good players. That middle group, he's right, they did not get enough. The players got a lot of what they wanted. The question really is, should they have wanted different things? But from what they were asking for, players did pretty well. The competitive balance tax went way up. The owners pretty much met them in the middle. So teams can now spend more. That is good. For the players, with the massive increase in profitability on the owner's side, players now can get a bigger percentage of the pie. That is good. League minimum went up to at least $700,000, I think, from $560,000. So the young players, they're going to get more too, and they deserve it. The really good young players, they're going to get more because of this pre-arbitration bonus pool. Again, I don't want to bury everybody in this, but I think the players got a lot of what they wanted. Tanking not being really addressed, that's a problem. Buster's right. Middle class of players being hurt, that's a problem. Buster's right. But by and large, it's a great day for the fans. And that's most important in all this. Because for so long, for the last couple of weeks, we've talked about who's winning the negotiation. Who's out of line? Is it the players or is it the owners? The answer has always been, for the last several weeks and months, players or owners. Today, the answer was the fans. And I am uplifted by how many people I saw on social media so excited about this deal getting done. Because all I hear about is that baseball is dying, that baseball is boring, that baseball is not fun. And I saw so many people disputing that. So many people were so pumped that we're at this place, that baseball, we're going to have April 7th, opening day, Red Sox, Yankees. All in all, 162 games will get played. We're going to play them in almost the exact same time frame as we would have before. And off we go. When those owners meet here in 40 seconds and they ratify this thing, the wheels are in motion to get us playing. And that's what's important. That said, it's a great day for baseball. But I do have to also mention the UVM men's basketball team. Catamounts going to the America East Championship for the 6th time in the last 7 seasons. I've got a cool announcement to make about all of it. That's going to impact you as well. This is the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, WDEVradio.com, and streaming on the WDEV radio app.
96.1 WDEV FM Warren, 96.5 W243 AT Berry, 98.3 W252 CU Montpelier, AM 550 WDEV Waterbury.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Dell Small Business. I'm Matt Piper in New York.
They not only have the capacity, they have a history of using chemical and biological weapons.
White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, who warns that Russian forces are operating with a reckless disregard for civilians. CBS's Natalie Brand.
The director of national intelligence told lawmakers the U.S. is documenting Russia's actions.
The Russian military has begun to loosen its rules of engagement to achieve their military objectives.
A U.S. official also says Russian forces could still encircle the capital of Kyiv in the next couple of weeks if they're willing to grind through significant Ukrainian resistance. It's estimated up to 6,000 Russian forces have already been killed in action.
Major League Baseball and its players union have reached a tentative settlement to end the 99-day lockout.
The agreement includes higher minimum player salaries and a higher payroll threshold before the luxury tax kicks in, an international player draft and expanded playoffs, a universal DH, and new rules on shifts. CBS Sports HQ analyst and former baseball general manager Jim Bowden says the fans should like it.
You have so many things in this deal that's going to make the game better for fans that I think it's going to be forgiven.
Spring training could start tomorrow here in Florida and in Arizona with a full regular season starting April 7th. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
Sentencing day for Jussie Smallett. A hearing has been ongoing for hours where witnesses took the stand in his defense asking for a light sentence. They include the actor's 92-year-old grandmother.
I ask you, the judge, not to send him to prison. If you do, send me along with him, okay?
Smallett faces anything from probation to 3 years in prison. He was convicted in December of lying to police about a hate crime he staged on himself. Gas prices are putting the brakes on some plans to return to the office. Many employers are having second thoughts about ending telework, but so far Washington is not.
Even in the Motor City, the Detroit Chamber of Commerce tells CBS News the higher gas prices, quote, complicates the return to office for some employers. In Washington, a top House Democrat, Hakeem Jeffries of New York, says businesses should keep all options on the table.
To ease the sacrifices that may be required here, I think that would be a positive development for the country.
But the federal government itself is still on the road to reopening. Congress has talked about reopening the Capitol complex this month, and top federal labor unions tell us they're not pushing to extend telework any further. Scott McFarland, CBS News.
And a new Reuters poll just out shows half of Americans say they will cut back on going out to restaurants if gas prices keep going up. The national average is $4.31 a gallon. The Dow lost 112 today. This is CBS News.
Dell's semi-annual sale has arrived. Save up to 45% on Dell business computers with Windows 11 Pro and get an easy start to your workday. Just call 877-ASK-DELL.
Ski and ride for free this spring at Sugarbush Resort. 2022-23 season passes are now on sale for the lowest prices of the year. Make Sugarbush your home base next winter with a variety of pass types and options to meet you and your family's skiing and riding needs. Plus, with 2 access roads in mountain areas, you'll spend more time skiing and less time waiting. Are you a current 2021-22 pass holder? Take advantage of special renewal discounts when you buy now. Not only will you save big, but both Icon and Sugarbush passes offer a wide range of winter and summer resort benefits. Sugarbush's legendary terrain makes it a perfect launching pad for Icon passes' 49 other worldwide destinations. To learn more and purchase your season pass, visit sugarbush.com.
Spring is a great time to visit Sugarbush Resort with skiing and riding through early May. Ski free from now until the end of the season when you buy your 22-23 season pass. Learn more at sugarbush.com.
2 building science experts, over 20 years of combined experience, 1 hour per week. It's House Calls Vermont, back for a second season on WDEV.
Brought to you in part by RK Miles, Holly Construction, and Ken Libby of the Stowe Area Realty Group at Keller Williams Stowe.
House Calls Vermont, Saturdays at 12:30 on WDEV AM and FM, streaming at WDEVradio.com.
Just because you're away from your radio or out of our broadcast range doesn't mean you have to miss out. Listen live on the WDEV stream, brought to you by AARP Vermont. WDEV's morning, midday, and afternoon news services, Vermont Viewpoint, and the Brady Farkas Show can all be found on the WDEV stream at WDEVradio.com. Brought to you by AARP Vermont, working to bring down the cost of prescription drugs for all Americans. AARP.org/VT.
Your chance to be part of the show is on the text line at 802-585-3026.
This is Field Yates of ESPN, and you're listening to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV Radio and the WDEV app.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back in. Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Full show today, all 90 minutes. Jazz with George Thomas comes up after me from 7 till 8, and then we got high school basketball coming up. Our coverage begins just after 8 o'clock with Hazen and Williamstown. That's Division III boys. So that is a semifinal. Winner goes on to the championship. We will have all 3 high school basketball championships from the Barry Auditorium coming up on Saturday. Our coverage begins at 11:45 a.m. Don't know what's going to happen because of the weather, but we're hoping that those games get played and you all can watch them, or listen to them rather, right here on WDEV. Before we get into anything else, though, I want to start with a very cool announcement, something that I'm very, very excited about. Saturday is also the America East Conference Championship game. And the UVM men's basketball team rolled last night in the semifinals. They beat Binghamton by 32 points, 74-42. So it's UVM and UMBC nationally televised game on the ESPN family of networks Saturday morning at 11 a.m. So UVM is in the title game, Patrick Jim, Burlington, 11 a.m. on Saturday. I am going to be there, and I am going to be broadcasting live before the America East Championship game. I'll be there early Saturday morning. I'm going to go on the air 9 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. I'll be broadcasting live, bringing you the absolute best pregame show that you can find. I promise you. There will be other outlets there doing pregame stuff. I'm confidently telling you, we will have the best pregame show in the state for UVM and UMBC. And here's the kicker. And here's the exciting part of it all. We're going to do the whole show digitally. It's going to broadcast exclusively on our WDEV Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. WDEV Facebook page and our YouTube channel. There's really kind of 2 reasons why for this. One, I can't knock Jack Donovan off the air. Jack Donovan on Saturday morning has been on the air for a long time. He deserves his time slot. I don't want to interrupt Jack Donovan. So Jack's show, Outlaw Saturday morning, that's going to stay on the air on Saturday. That is the right thing to do for him and by the station. And secondly, I know the weather is supposed to be bad. So I don't know how many of you are going to be out in your car listening to the radio at that time. So we want to give you the easiest chance to access this special one-off broadcast. So if you're at home on your phone, you can sit right there, watch us. Pop in for 2 minutes, pop in for 90 minutes. Doesn't matter. Just pop in. You can project YouTube up on your TV and watch us on the big screen at your own house. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be something different for WDEV. We're going to have something on the air in Jack Donovan Outlaw Saturday morning and music to go to the dump by. And we're going to have something on our streaming channel on Facebook Live and on YouTube. And I know it's different. Some people are going to be like, I won't listen if it's not on the air. And I totally get that. It's a different thing. But it's also a very exciting thing because this is going to give us an opportunity to showcase what we can do in a lot of different ways. And I'm excited to be a part of that. WDEV has been here for 90 years, and we're always looking to grow. And when myself and management sat down together to think about what exactly we can do, this was an awesome idea. We're going to have something on the air. We're going to have something digitally. We're going to have something for everybody. And I'm really, really excited about it. I'm excited to go back to an America East title game for the first time since 2019. Hard to believe. I'm excited to be back at Patrick Gym. I've only been a couple times this year to games, so I'm excited to go to the game. I'm excited for it to be for the buzz of a nationally televised game. I'm excited for the potential court storming at the game that could follow if UVM beats UMBC. And I'm excited to bring you what I know will be the best pregame show in the entire state. We're going to be on for 90 minutes, 9 a.m. to 10:30. And again, it's super easy. Just go to WDEV on Facebook. Heck, if you're watching this show right now on Facebook Live or on YouTube, it's the exact same thing. You don't need to do anything. Go to WDEV, like us there. Boom, you'll see us broadcasting. You're going to get all of it. I'm going to be there in person. You're going to be able to watch me on camera, and I'm going to have guests with me. Some guests might pop in on video screen. Some guests might pop in on the phone, but the guest list, we've already got 3 guests confirmed, right? We set this up yesterday. We've got 3 guests already confirmed. 90-minute show, 9 a.m. to 10:30. 9 a.m. to 10:30. So check us out. I'm excited for it. It is, we're looking to help get the Catamounts to the NCAA tournament. I'll also say this, and this is important and this is serious. But let me read a couple texts first before I get into this. So Napa Morrisville, Napa Waterbury, 802-585-3026. People say that, they're excited you get to watch us in HD. That's right. Our broadcast is in HD. So if you want to pop us up on your TV show, or on your TV rather, you get to watch it in HD. So it's going to be very, very cool. Ray in Warren says, nice job. He's looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Different way of listening, but a fun way of listening. I'm looking forward to it. Ray also says, great job on figuring out how to make everything work, and baseball is back. So thanks for giving us so many options. I'll be plowing on Monday. Really wish there was spring training while plowing. Not on Saturday morning at 9 a.m., but you can, again. And look, if you're out and you've got your phone, you can still throw in some headphones and listen to us there, right? Facebook Live, just pop us in your pocket and take us anywhere. You can still do that with headphones. It's super easy to get content now, and we're pumped to bring it to you. I do, again, want to get to this serious note, though, and I want to acknowledge this. We're going to be talking about the UVM basketball game. We're going to be talking about the UVM basketball team. We're going to be focusing, if they win on Selection Sunday, from a basketball perspective. But we're also going to be doing all of that against the backdrop of what is an ongoing, dark, and ugly storyline involving UVM athletics. We have talked before about the allegations of sexual assault against various players in the athletic department that have been reported anonymously over the last year or so. Multiple allegations against members of the men's basketball program. And we've talked specifically about the allegation that was made by Kendall Ware, who is a former UVM swimmer. She alleges that a men's basketball player sexually assaulted her, and then that the university covered it up, essentially, or at least muddied the waters for her on how to go about reporting it so as to protect the player. That they took the player's side and tried to discredit her. So we have talked about that before. There is a new story that was out today in USA Today about Kendall Ware, about her allegations, about her claims, and about how she says the university fouled up the handling of it. And also about her desire to change how colleges respond to cases like hers. So understand that as we talk all this good and all this excitement and all this innovativeness about, and I'm excited to go to the game, but know that I know it happens against the backdrop of this lingering storyline. And Kendall Ware was out in USA Today with a story talking about her experience at UVM. I have not read it yet. It's long. It's certainly important. I could not do it justice by flipping through it a few minutes before the show. So I am not discussing the article today. I will read it tonight. I will read it in full tonight. We will talk about it tomorrow. And I am efforting on the writer from USA Today onto tomorrow's show. So I want you to know that even though I am excited, look, I'm excited for the student body who are fans of college sports, that this is happening, that the program is good. I'm excited for you, the fan, who likes to have state pride. I'm excited for me and my career that I get to go to another conference title game. I am excited for all of that, and I'm excited for the players that have worked so hard to get to this point. But we here on this show are not ignoring the underbelly of what has reportedly been going on within the athletic department. So even as we're excited on one hand, we are, again, doing some digging on the other hand. And tomorrow we're looking for the author of the USA Today story in which Kendall Ware spoke again 2 plus years later, about her allegations of sexual misconduct and how the athletic department, in her words, or in her mind rather, muddied the waters for her. So certainly an important story, and a story that does not deserve to be ignored, a story that deserves to be brought to light. And we will do that even as we, have excitement about what's happening on the court. It is the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Okay, now let's get back into sports. Again, that story will come up tomorrow. Let's get to who's saying what.
Whoa. What did he say?
Mac Jones. Good Lord. Mel Kiper's got to slow down on this. Mac Jones ain't going to work, folks. It's not going to work. He's got to come to terms with it. It's not going to work.
They really said that?
Every damn thing is politics and race, and I'm losing my mind over it.
It's time for Who's Saying What on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Who's Saying What? Brought to you by Vermont Laser Wash, which is Central Vermont's home of unlimited car washes, beginning at only $20 a month. For a free car wash, the listener just needs to text the word Vermont to the number 30 and then 400. So if you want just one free car wash, text the word Vermont to 30400. If you want to join in the entirety of the fun club, $20 a month gets you unlimited car washes. Let's move to football. The question is, do the New England Patriots already have no hope for the 2022 season? Is their season over before it starts? The reason why I asked that is because former NFL general manager Mike Tannenbaum said this on ESPN today.
If you're an AFC team, if you don't have Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Herbert, and now Russell Wilson, you have no hope. Zero. Your season's over before it ever began. Do you feel that way as a Patriots fan? Do you feel like they have no hope and their season is over before it starts? 802-585-3026. I'll say this right off the top. The reality is that Mike Tannenbaum is right. That's the reality. But to just say the Patriots have no hope at all, that's not true. There's always a little bit of hope. There's always a little bit of magic that could happen. So, in reality, Mike Tannenbaum is right. The New England Patriots are not a Super Bowl team. They are not an AFC Championship team. And they are not, in my mind right now, a playoff team. The reality is that Mike Tannenbaum is right. However, to say simply that there is no hope and that your season is over before it starts, that is not true. The battle is hard. The climb is steep. The reality, again, the hard reality is the Patriots today are not a playoff team. But in the spirit of the baseball deal getting done, and in the spirit of my general good mood about things today in sports, I will choose to be optimistic today. I have spent a lot of time being a Patriots realist, being a Mac Jones realist. Today, I will be a Patriots optimist. Mike Tannenbaum is wrong to say there is no hope at all. There is always a little bit of hope. Now, that hope might be faint. That hope might be fleeting, but there is reason for it. I don't want you to think that I'm solely negative. Here's my main reason that I can have hope for the New England Patriots. I have hope because the Patriots only have one elite team in their division. They only have one team that is considerably better than them. And when you only have one team that's better than you, you only have one team that you need to pass. And when it's only one team, you can get some fluky things that knocks that one team down a level. And instantly, if I can win the division, I got a top 4 seed. I get a home playoff game. And if you get a home playoff game, all bets are off. There's my main reason for hope. The AFC West is stacked, loaded. I would argue that 3 of those 4 teams are already better than the Patriots, and the Raiders might be better than them too. So those 3 teams are all better, but they're all going to battle each other. And it's going to be really hard for the Raiders to pass all 3 of them. It's going to be really hard for the Chiefs to pass the other 3. That's going to be a really hard division to win. The AFC North is a hard division to win. Cincinnati seems to be very good.
Baltimore seems to be very good. Cleveland has an excellent roster. And Pittsburgh has an excellent reputation and an excellent organization. That's a tough division to win. There's a lot of things to overcome there. The AFC East, you have one team to overcome. Now, I think there's a massive gap right now between Buffalo and between the Patriots. But when it's only one team, Josh Allen could get hurt, and all of a sudden you're a division favorite. And that's it. I think the Patriots are better than the Jets. I think the Patriots, as it stands right now, profile to be better than the Dolphins. Josh Allen could get hurt, and you're the division favorite, and all of a sudden you've got a top 4 seed. Josh Allen could lose Stephon Diggs, Devin Singletary, and 3 members of his defense. Happens every year to a team in the NFL. Happens every year. If that happened to Buffalo, and look, hope is not a strategy, and I don't wish for injuries. The Patriots need to make real serious moves if they want to actually catch Buffalo. But if you're asking me today to be hopeful, my hope is that I only got to catch one team. And if that's all I got to catch, things could get fluky. It's hard to get fluky in the AFC West. It's hard to get fluky in the NFC West. It's hard to get fluky it's hard to be fluky in the NFC or in the AFC North. Those teams are good, really good. And they have really good rosters and really good cultures. Fluky things, it's going to be really tough. Fluky can happen for the Patriots. So if you're asking me to be hopeful, that is where I draw hope from. But I also want you to understand this. When I tell you that Mac Jones is not good enough, when I tell you that Mac Jones is not special enough, it is not me being a hater. Smart people who have been in the league for a long time, they feel the same way. It's not just, oh, Brady's out to get Mac, or Brady's out to say things that make him look like Stephen A. He just wants to say outlandish stuff. That's not true. I'm just here to tell you the truth. Here's what Tannenbaum said.
If you're an AFC team, if you don't have Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Herbert, and now Russell Wilson, you have no hope. Zero. Your season's over before it ever began.
Again, I don't think there's no hope. But the reality is what Tannenbaum said. That's why I said the reality is that he's right. The Patriots right now, in my mind, they're battling for like a 7th seed. They're not as good as any of those quarterbacks. They have maybe the 10th best quarterback in the AFC. This is not something that you should be proud of as a Patriots fan. This is a real issue for them. Mac Jones is good. That's not the question. The question is not if Mac Jones stinks. He doesn't. The question is Mac Jones good enough to help you get to the promised land? And the answer is no, he's not. That's the problem. And Mike Tannenbaum is saying it, that those quarterbacks all have the inside track, that you need one of those guys to win, and he is right. So smart people are telling you what I have been telling you all along. If you don't want to believe me, believe them. Colin Cowherd runs down the AFC power rankings. The Patriots are nowhere to be found. Mike Tannenbaum runs down the list of quarterbacks he thinks in the AFC can win. Mac Jones, Patriots, nowhere to be found. Smart, informed people believe exactly what I've been saying here for weeks. The Patriots have a real problem now. Not because their quarterback stinks, but because every other quarterback is great. But if you're telling me they have no hope at all, that I will not believe. Fleeting hope, minimal hope. Even if they make the playoffs, they're not even in the same stratosphere as these other quarterbacks. But still, a little bit of hope does exist. Unnamed texter says, I used to like you. I don't get it. Why do you not like me now? What did I say to make you not like me? Steve over in Facein says 1-1 last year against a team that was so much better than us. Fluky, right? That's why I said fluky can happen. You get a game where it's 8 degrees and there's 45-mile-an-hour winds. That's what we call fluky. So the Patriots took advantage last year of fluky. I can't count on fluky, but you asked me for hope. My hope is that fluky happens again. When they played in December at Foxborough, the Bills whitewashed the Patriots. Why? Conditions were more favorable. The Bills are just much better. If they play in a blizzard, Patriots can probably win. They play in a wind tunnel, Patriots can probably win. They play when Josh Allen's hurt. Patriots can definitely win. There are things that can happen that can cause the Patriots to be good, better, even better than Buffalo. I just won't count on those things. All right, 802-585-3026. Frank says, with Mac Jones here, there is no hope. Well, minimal. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. All right, when we come back, oh, by the way, I'll say that I had a second reason that I had hope. I kind of went back and forth here. My first one is that you only have one team to pass. My second one is that the Patriots' schedule is significantly harder than last year, but their crossover NFC division is the NFC North. You're going to play Detroit, who you're better than. You're going to play Chicago with a first-time head coach and a young quarterback in Justin Fields. Even if I like him, you play in week 1, I say you have a distinct advantage there. So you're going to get those two. I don't know what Minnesota is going to do with Kirk Cousins. They might move off him, and they might take a little step back. And then Aaron Rodgers, okay, you're not going to beat him. But if you can clean up in your division, if you can go 4 wins in your division, 2 against Miami, 2 against the Jets, and you can win, let's say, 3 of the 4 against the NFC North, that's 7 wins right there. Can you go pick up 2 or 3 more to get to the playoffs? Maybe. There's my reason for hope. You're still going to need a whole lot of things to go your way. Mike Tannenbaum is right. Phil in Middlesex says, Tannenbaum's really smart, fired twice as a general manager. I promise you, Phil, that Mike Tannenbaum has forgotten more football than you and I know. He has forgotten more about player personnel than you and I have ever learned. So, well, and by the way, also remember this, those who can't do teach. Isn't that the saying? Those who can't do teach. Mike Tannenbaum is probably, well, we've had him on. Excellent on television. Maybe when the pressure is really going against him, it's tougher. But Mike Tannenbaum knows more than we do. And he is right. And for the record, I've been saying the exact same thing that Mike Tannenbaum said, that the Patriots are looking up at everyone and they are in trouble. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. UVM men's basketball wins last night. They're headed to the America East Conference title game. Again, I'll be broadcasting there live on Facebook Live and YouTube Saturday morning, 9 a.m. until 10:30. Please come join me and hang out with me. But yesterday after the win, head coach John Becker said something that I think was completely unnecessary. I'll play the soundbite for you, and you tell me if I'm overreacting. That's next on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV.
As temperatures start going down, you should go up to your attic and protect your comfort with Knopf insulation, available at Sticks and Stuff and Swanton Lumber. Adding rolls, bats, or loose fill insulation can keep your house warmer in the winter and cooler in the summer, and save you up to 20% on energy bills. Sticks and Stuff and Swanton Lumber in Middlesex, St. Albans, Enosburg, Derby, and Swanton. Sticksandstuff.com.
Sticks and Stuff and Swanton Lumber. We've got the right stuff for you.
We're out of the brand name, but we do have the generic version of them.
Serene's Pharmacy can't keep up with allergy season.
Who's next in line?
They need certified technicians to alleviate the headache.
Ma'am, I'm so sorry for the wait. We'll have your prescription filled soon. I need some help.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents. And does.
Don't you just love the smell of old books?
Shh, this is a library.
Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction.
He really does devour literature.
Please leave.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hey there, I'm Lance Bass, and this is Chip. For more than 100 years, American Humane has been on the front lines protecting animals in times of crisis. From Pearl Harbor to 9/11, the California wildfires, and the coronavirus pandemic. American Humane Rescue has provided life-saving assistance for animals in virtually every major national disaster. If you're anything like me, your pets mean the world to you. And if disaster strikes, you want to keep them safe. To prepare for an oncoming disaster, ensure your pet has secure and up-to-date identification. And if you must evacuate, remember to take your disaster preparedness kit with you. To learn more about disaster planning and how to keep your best friends safe, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
What's up, everybody? Brady Farkas here. I want to invite all of you to join me Saturday morning, March 12th, from 9 to 10:30 as I broadcast live from Patrick Gym, the America East men's basketball title game. UVM and UMBC Catamounts looking to get back to the NCAA tournament. I'll be broadcasting live with a pregame show and a ton of great guests from 9 to 10:30, and we're doing it all digitally, right on the WDEV Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. Go follow them, WDEV on Facebook and YouTube. Watch the pregame show live Saturday morning with Patrick Gym, 9 to 10:30.
Make your opinion heard by texting onto the Brady Farkas Show at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Welcome back in, Brady Farkas Show right here on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. High school basketball tonight, Division III boys playoffs, the semifinals. Hazen in Williamstown. Winner goes to the state championship game, which we will have on Saturday for you. All three state championship games from the very odd. 2, 3, and 4, hoping that the weather allows us to get those games in on Saturday, but fingers crossed there. A little bit of breaking news. The owners in Major League Baseball have signed off on the new CBA. They voted on it 30-0, so play ball. That's what we've got. The league year can now start. The general managers are going to get talked to. You know, they're going to kind of hold court themselves and kind of get the orders of what can happen, but then I would expect deals to start happening by tonight. I think deals are going to happen by tonight. Well, I think we'll have real baseball stuff to talk about tomorrow, and we'll see exactly what's happened. But again, the lockout is officially over after 99 days. Show is brought to you in part by Pro Driver Training. That's Pro Driver Training, Vermont's premier truck driver training school. They're online at prodrivercdl.com, locations in Enosburg and in Milton. I need everybody's help. I need your help to let me know if I am overreacting or if I am taking something wrong. So last night, UVM beats Binghamton, right? America East semifinals. We know that. They're going to the conference finals Saturday morning, 11 a.m. We know that too. They beat Binghamton 74-42. It's going to be the 6th time in the last 7 seasons that UVM has gotten to the America East final. After the game, here's what head coach John Becker had to say.
I know people around here, take it for granted. This is really the hard thing to do to get to the finals. And so I hope everyone really enjoys it in our community, at our school.
I think that was an unnecessary comment. That was an unnecessary dig at the fans. Am I taking it wrong? Am I taking it too personally?
I know people around here, take it for granted. This is really the hard thing to do.
People around here take it for granted. Telling us how hard it is to do, how impressive what UVM has done is. Am I taking it wrong? I'm not necessarily offended by it, but I think it was an unnecessary comment for the fans, to the fans, and to the media that covers the team, because I've always thought that, yes, the fans do expect a lot. The media who covers the team expects a lot. I'm not necessarily saying that John Becker is wrong, that we do kind of pencil in UVM to the America East title game every year. I'm not saying that he's wrong, but I don't think the comment needed to be said. And the reason why is because I've always felt that even with our high expectations, I've always felt that UVM was given the appropriate amount of credit. Like, if you never got credit, I'd understand why you'd be upset. But I think UVM gets a very appropriate amount of attention and a very appropriate amount of credit and a very appropriate amount of acknowledgement. I'd get it if you never got recognition. Like, think about this. And we get a message that says, Brady, you're absolutely correct. So thank you. 802-585-3026. Think about this. When you were a student, and I'm sure this happened to a lot of you out there, if you were a student who got really good grades, you got really good grades all the time, right? Your parents expected you to get good grades, right? You'd bring home a 95 on a test and, okay, great. You'd bring home a 90 to be like, what happened? Like, if you were expected to get good grades and your parents never acknowledged it, it was just an expectation, I could see you being bitter. Well, hey, everybody else who gets 95s, their parents are taking them out for pizza and they're getting gifts and they're getting toys and they're getting money and like, well, I don't get anything. If your parents didn't give you credit and never acknowledged how smart you were and how hard you were working, I could see you being bitter. But if you get 95s and your mom puts the report card or puts the test up on the refrigerator and the report card's on the refrigerator and she's telling you how great you are and how proud of you she is, and then she's taking you out for pizza and you get a new toy when the report card comes out, like, I wouldn't be bitter anymore. I'm getting my recognition. I'm getting my credit. Yes, we expect it, but you still earned it. That's what I feel like has happened with the UVM men's basketball program. We do expect a lot. I do get disappointed when they lose to Hartford in a regular season game and they finish 17-1 when they could finish 18-0. I have very high standards. The program on the court has set a very high standard. So I get it. John Becker's right. I am spoiled by this program. I am expecting of this program, but I also think that we, the collective, do a really good job of congratulating the program, of acknowledging the program. Look, that Patrick Gym in non-COVID times is sold out every single home game. The fans show up, whether it's conference title game or the St. Michael's scrimmage at the beginning of the year. The fans show up. They're not bandwagoners. They're not like, just catch it, for, hey, we'll just show up in March. They're not doing that. They're there from the outset. And when the students aren't showing up, the community pours in. So the fans do a great job, and the media, I know, does a great job. Not just me. The television stations fall all over the UVM program. We spent a lot of time this year talking about Shungu versus Davis, talking about, guys on the team. We spent all year talking about it. We give a segment every Tuesday to Tom Brennan, former Catamount Hoops coach, to talk about the team. We are giving the credit. The media gives the credit. The media gives the acknowledgement, and the fans show up in droves no matter what. So who is John Becker mad at here? Who is he upset by?
I know people around here, take it for granted. This is really the hard thing to do.
Is that a shot at the administration? When I first heard it, I thought it was a shot at us. I thought it was a shot at the fans. And I'm like, that can't be right. Is it a shot at the administration?
I know people around here, take it for granted. This is really the hard thing to do.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's a shot at the administration. That would be fascinating, because I think, like I told you, the everybody else gives UVM its recognition. Is that a message at the administration? Hey, where's my new arena? I know you think I can do this anywhere, but where's my new arena? Hey, I know you think we can just waltz into this game every year, but where's a better recruiting budget? Where's the ability to go play in more tournaments? Why are we not going out west? I don't know. Is it a shot at the administration? That I'd love to know as well. Because I'm like, it can't be a shot at us. The fans and the media, they do their job. Steve says, you might be overthinking it. I really don't think that statement's that big of a deal. Maybe. Somebody else says I'm spot on. Break the tie with me. Do those comments mean anything at all? Napa Morrisville, Napa Waterbury text line 802-585-3026. Facebook Live, YouTube Live. Let's see what the crew is saying here. Yeah, Pete wants to talk about baseball. Pete, we're off baseball for right now. We got a lot of baseball stuff to get to tomorrow. So there's some interesting stuff coming in baseball, but we will talk about that. All right. So there you go. They're interesting. All right. I want to say something else. Actually, I just want to make a plea. I don't think that they will, but I really hope that UVM lifts the mandatory mask mandate for Saturday's game, for the championship game. And I don't feel all that comfortable making that statement. Number one, I am not the COVID police. Number two, I respect the seriousness of the virus, and I have throughout. And I really am not looking to make enemies on either side of this debate. So I'm not really comfortable saying that. I freely admit that. But I hope that for the championship game on Saturday, I hope that the mask mandate at UVM Athletics is removed. The state's guidance for masking ends on March 14th. This game on Saturday will be March 12th. The college doesn't have to go until March 12th or until March 14th. Two, the city of Burlington has already ended its mask mandate for indoor spaces, so the college doesn't have to comply with that. And Montpelier and Brattleboro, two of the most restrictive places in the entire state, and that's fine. Again, I respect the seriousness of the virus, and I have throughout. I followed all the rules throughout. Brattleboro and Montpelier have also lifted indoor mask mandates. So if the state is lifting it, if the most restrictive places in the state have lifted it, I would love to see UVM make it mask optional on Saturday. It's going to be a packed crowd. I understand the reservations that could come with that. Some people might want to wear a mask. I've been in Patrick Gym when there's 3,000 people there. It's going to be hot. You're going to be close together. With a mask on, you're going to be uncomfortable. And I understand the easy answer is just don't go. And that's true. Just don't go if you don't want to play by those rules. I totally get that. But at this point, I would just like to see it made mask optional. All the students at UVM are vaccinated. Every one of them is vaccinated. Everyone is boosted. So all the kids who would be at the game close together, they're vaccinated and boosted. Most of the community is vaccinated and boosted. All the UMBC students are vaccinated and boosted if they want to go to the game and come up. So almost everybody in the gym would be vaccinated and boosted. And with the state guidance ending 2 days later, I'd like to just see it be made mask optional. Again, I'm not really comfortable having this conversation. I'm not really comfortable with making enemies on this thing, especially as we hopefully are on the other side of this thing for good. Somebody says there is no requirement at you. No, that is not the case. It is still mask mandatory at UVM games. You do not have to be vaccinated, but you have to wear a mask. Unless I'm wrong and somebody wants to change that, I don't believe, or somebody wants to tell me, I don't believe that. Every person has been wearing a mask at UVM games. I went to the game against Maine at the end of January. I get that was a month plus ago. I was watching the game last night on TV. Everybody's wearing them. And that's fine. If you want to, that is fine. I will not judge you if you want to keep wearing one. I just would like to see the policy shifted to mask optional. If high schools can have it now, if elementary schools can be mask optional, the students are vaccinated, the UMBC students are vaccinated, most of the population that is going is vaccinated. Most of the state is vaccinated. If UVM doesn't want to change it, and I don't think they will, I will respect that policy. I will still go to the game. I will wear a mask, and I will not complain about it. But I would like to see it be made mask optional. State guidance is ending just 2 days later. So we'll see. I doubt that it will be moved, and that's fine if it's not. But that was just kind of my plea. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. All right, we'll take Pete's point on baseball today. We'll get to some of the more of the baseball stuff that's coming up next right here on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Always streaming on the WDEV app, Facebook Live, YouTube Live as well.
Spring is almost here, and the sunniest days of the year are fast approaching. Hi, Tara here from Green Mountain Solar. Now's the best time to beat the summer solar install rush. Our full-time staff installs year-round, so you can get the most out of your solar panels right off the bat. By adding solar to your home or business early this year, you get to take advantage of all the sunny days to come. When your system produces more power than your home or business uses, the surplus builds credits to pay for the electricity when the days are short again. That's the beauty of Vermont net metering. All Green Mountain Solar systems come with monitoring, so you get to watch as your panels generate more and more power. Our solar advisors are ready to walk you through the process step by step, so you can make the best choice for your home or business. No hard sales, no hidden costs, and no pressure. Just the clean, resilient energy system that's right for you. Visit greenmtnsolar.com to get started. That's greenmtnsolar.com.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works overtime with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget is available as a concentrate or extreme reach hose end. Purchase Wet and Forget in-store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's Charlie Papillo. Join me on Monday, March 14th at 1 o'clock for the next episode of Travels with Charlie. Senate candidate Christina Nolan sits down for an open phone line conversation, and we'll check in with retired Health and Human Services Secretary and the former host of Open Mic on WDEV, Mike Smith. Brought to you by Casella Waste Systems, Jolly Convenience Stores, and Milne Travel American Express. I'll see you in my travels Monday at 1 on WDEV, and don't forget to turn your clocks ahead.
Want Brady to hear your opinion on the sports stories of the day? Text in at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Welcome back in, Brady Farkas Show, WDEV AM and FM, WDEVradio.com. Jazz with George Thomas is coming up next. That's going to be on from 7 o'clock until 8 o'clock here on WDEV. And then we got high school basketball coming up shortly after that, as we'll get Hazen and Williamstown on the boys' side. Division III winner goes to the state championship game. They're about to tip off the boys' Division I title game at Patrick Gym right now. Rice and Rutland are playing in that one. We'll have more coverage from that on the morning, midday, and afternoon news services tomorrow. Major League Baseball, the deal is done. Sorry, I had a text message there that I was maybe going to get to, but maybe we'll get to it later. The Major League Baseball deal is done. The owners have ratified it. The players have signed off on it. The lockout is officially over. Transactions can start tonight. Couple of things that are going to change about baseball. One, as Pete points out on the Napa-Morrisville, Napa-Waterbury text line, the universal DH. The universal DH is here. Okay? So we've watched pitchers hit forever. We're not going to see pitchers hit anymore. This does a couple of things. One, I think this particular year, the National League teams remain behind the 8 ball. The National League teams have not planned or budgeted for a DH. They've never had to be built that way. Some of them will be able to find someone, right? Nelson Cruz is out there. JD Martinez might get traded for. Kyle Schwarber is out there. So there are some National League teams that will be able to compensate for this on the fly. Some teams will not. Some teams will be stuck with some, utility infielder playing their DH spot. So the National League right now, I think, is still behind the 8 ball compared to the American League offensively. But over time, it's going to standardize the league. And I love the strategy of baseball. I love, the double switch, the thinking man's game. I love all that stuff. But at the end of the day, the game needs offense. More good hitters will have jobs. More guys, there will be more offense. So I'm okay with it. As we sit today, I am all right with it. So it's going to impact the Red Sox in the sense that now I don't know if Kyle Schwarber's back, because now all of a sudden 16 or 15 new jobs are open. Well, that's a pretty big thing, right? There's a bunch of new jobs open and a bunch of teams that now need a DH. That's good. Kyle Schwarber now has more opportunities to choose from. That could impact the Red Sox. They may not be able to bring him back as easily as we thought they could. JD Martinez now, you could unload his 1 year, $22 million contract if you want. Maybe it's 19, 20 million, 19, something like that. You could unload that if you want to, because there's more teams that need it. So this is going to impact the Red Sox. Another way that it's really going to impact things, and we're not going to see it this year, we're going to see it next year, is that the schedule will be balanced. Think about that. The schedule is going to be balanced next year, 2023. If everybody's playing by the same rules, then there's no reason, right? Like there is no interleague play. Well, there is interleague play, but it's not massively different. So now you're going to play every team in the league. And as a result of playing every team in the league, you're going to play your division less. So the Red Sox, who have this gauntlet of trying to get through the Yankees, Rays, and Blue Jays, well, they now all of a sudden don't have to play them as much. Also, they don't get to play the Orioles as much. And I think that is going to be fascinating. You're going to see a Red Sox-Dodgers series every year. You're going to see a Red Sox-Cardinals series every year, a Red Sox-Cubs series every year. The schedule is going to be a lot more balanced. Less games against your division. Less games against your division foes, and more against, well, you know what? Let me verify that, actually. Let me read this. I want to see exactly how this is worded. The schedule will feature, okay, here you go. One interesting nugget. Beginning in 2023, I was right. The schedule will feature fewer divisional games, and every team will play at least one series against every other opponent, including in the other league. The exact format is being determined. So now, like, the Red Sox will play 7 games against the Mariners, right? 4 here and 3 there, or something like that. I don't know if it's going to be you still get 7 against against all the American League teams. I don't know how it's going to work, but it's less divisional games, less gauntlet through the AL East. That's pretty interesting. That's one caveat here out of this agreement, out of this having the AL or having this addendum where you have the universal DH. As for the rules on the field, baseball is going back this year to what we all remember pre-COVID. 9-inning doubleheaders, extra innings played normally. And I got to say, I was actually okay with the runner on second. I would not have started at the 10th inning. I would have started it in the 12th, but I don't need 18-inning marathons. As much as I love baseball, I don't need to stay up until 1 o'clock in the morning watching a 6-hour game against the Orioles. So I would have been fine if they kept the runner at second, but I would have liked for it to be starting in the 12th inning. We're also going to see, the 9-inning doubleheader. This one I could go either way on. I could have gone with like a 9 and a 7. I did like the quicker game time. I did like the more instant pace, the more urgency right away. But I was fine. I like 9-inning games. I like baseball, like full games. But a 9 and a 7 for a doubleheader would have been cool. Then you get strategy of which starter's pitching the 7, which one's pitching the 9. I think that would have been cool. But I'm not going to die on that hill. So I'm just happy that baseball is back. We will have the 12 teams, it looks like, in the playoffs. That, to me, is better than 10, or better than 14, rather, but not as good as 10. So, at the end of the day, baseball is back, and I am happy. That's going to do it for us here on the Brady Farkas Show. We're going to step aside. We're going to get Jazz with George Thomas. That is coming up next. Reminder, the big announcement, Saturday morning, I'm going to be at Patrick Gym for the UVM men's basketball game, broadcasting live from the America East title game, 9 a.m. until 10:30. The broadcast will be done exclusively on WDEV's Facebook page and on our YouTube channel. So just go to WDEV's Facebook or YouTube page, go to YouTube or Facebook, type in WDEV. You'll see me there, 9 o'clock. Great guests, great perspective, great insight. We'll bring you all the insight from the environment as well. Catamounts taking on UMBC, and look forward to it. That's Saturday morning, 9 until 10:30. But we do have a Friday to get through. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. It's the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM, always streaming at WDEVradio.com.
WDEV at 90 is brought to you in part by New England Municipal Resource Center, NEMRIC, with a belief that local